You know, only 2% will get this. Let me repeat that. Only 2% of the world population, people, will get this information. They'll process and they will get the aha moment and they can change their lives forever. What's done frequently changes the frequency. Let me repeat that. What's done frequently changes the frequency. What does that mean? Well, people, we have a powerful mind, and our mind exists in layers. Layers of our mind, and some parts of our mind, we aren't even aware that it's there. We call that the unconscious, the subconscious mind. The unique thing about how the universe and how reality works is, as human beings, the only way we can evolve or make changes is through repetition. And repetition is the secret to success. If you want to change your life, if you want to become the best version of yourself, you have to know to adopt a specific habit or repetitive pattern, because that changes the frequency. What is the frequency? The frequency is the core component. It's the quantum field. It's that field. It's where everything comes into reality. It's where reality is created. If you can tap into that field, then you can change your life forever. So how do you tap into that field? Well, you tap into that field through your subconscious mind. But the first way to tap into the field is through building your awareness. If you build your awareness and notice your circumstances and notice what's happening and what you don't like versus what you do like, there's the first step to the aha moment. Remember now, 2% will get this. Maybe you're one of these 2%. When you get this, your life will change. So let me show you what happens here. So this frequency is this ever-producing pattern of electromagnetic energy and all types of other particles. And it's there waiting to take form. It takes form through two processes. It takes form through an awareness, and it takes form through a habit. Those are the two processes it works. So the two processes affects two parts of the mind. The awareness comes from your thinking conscious mind. The habits come from the subconscious mind. Once you can tune these things together, now you have alignment, and now you can create whatever you want. Because here's something about that field. That field has everything you ever want or will want. It already exists. Think about this. The things that you want right now are already out there somewhere. So if you tap into that field, boom, you can do it. So how does it work? What's the process like? Well, to tap into the field, it begins to become aware. So if you don't like what you see, you change it. But how can you change it? You don't change it physically now, because that's backwards. You change it within the mind's eye. So you have, literally, we have 4 eyes. So let me show you what they are. You got 2 eyes, right, left eye, you can see, there's 2. Then you got the third eye, which is the all-seeing eye, the third 3 eyes. And then the 4th eye that no one talks about a lot is the mind's eye. So when you can see within the mind, when you can visualize, when you can see images, that's the 4th eye that comes within the mind, that comes within the consciousness. So when you want to change anything, you have to get into that 4th eye. When you get into that 4th eye, that's when you affect that field. Key point here, you can only affect the field in the mind's eye. That's it. You cannot affect the field with physical or trying to push or trying to force or trying to work hard or desperation. You can never affect the field that way. You will affect the field when you get into your mind's eye. So you have to do it internally or in the etheric. So if you don't like what you see, then you must start to have an image of what you'd like to see. You have to put yourself in it. You have to see yourself either first person or third person. Now you start to affect the field, because that field is invisible energy just like you. The field, the things that make that field up, you are part of it. The atoms in your body, the electrons, the molecules, the cells, they all come from that field. And once you interact with that field through your subconscious mind now, you take in the information from that field, and that field starts to collapse into a wave first. A wave basically means of all potential existence of all potential things that are out there for you, and then you lock in on a definitive thing, then it collapses and becomes a part of your reality. 2% of people won't get that. If you get that, if you just got what I said, you are congratulated, because now you're on your way to create your life by design deliberately. Now, why only 2% would get this information? Why not the rest? Well, here's another quirky thing about the mind and how it deceives you from tapping into the field. So our mind and body, they kind of exist independently but together. No, it doesn't make sense, but let me show you what I mean by that. So with the mind can see outside, you can see inside, you have your mind's eye, you can perceive things. Now with the body doesn't actually need you. If you think about it, you can't control your digestive system, you can't control your own heart rate, you can't control your breathing. All these things are done automatically. So your body is doing the thing it needs to protect or produce. It's creating cells, it's metabolizing, it's doing all these things without your interference. You're just there, just observing it, it's happening. So about that now, what comes into play is this. So within that mind, then we have our thinking mind, or that ego mind. And then we have our subconscious mind. So what happens is subconscious is very powerful because it works on emotions. And emotions are the driving force that also affects this field. An interesting thing is this. The reason why many individuals won't be able to grasp or get this information is because they're literally in a hypnotic trance. They're hypnotized by their own mind. You see, let me show you something here. Whenever we get into fear mode, panic mode, anxiety mode, worry mode, if you don't realize this, your mind trips you or glitches you into a hypnotic trance through your subconscious mind. This is why, have you ever noticed when you start to worry, you just keep going? Whenever you start to fear, you just keep going? Whenever you get really emotional, you can't control it, you feel like you're blocked out, and then you come back to your senses, you get angry, you just throw off, and then all of a sudden you're like, whoa, what happened? That's because you're in a trance. And what further perpetuates the trance is the reality of the self, the way things are around you. We see it every day, such as, lack, struggle. This is how it is. Part of the trance is it teaches individuals that struggle is part of your life. Stress is part of your life. It's normal. No, it's not. That's the trance. That's the trick. So many individuals, if they're in this trance, they lose what? They lose the ability to become aware. Remember what I said? 2 factors to influence that field is number awareness and the habit, or the repetition. What changes the frequency, right, is the repetition. What's done frequently changes the frequency. So many individuals, maybe even if they wanted to, they just can't, because they don't understand, they don't have this knowledge, they don't have this information. They don't know that when they get emotional or when they start to get into fear or negative thinking, the mind actually puts them in a trance. It's out of their control. The body takes over, the mind takes over the body. The body now starts to give off these feelings, and then you start to feel it, and then you're out of what we call the alignment to interact with that field. See how it works? That's very powerful. So if you get what I just put forth, you have made it. Because now you have the blueprint to literally change your world. You see, reality, the things we see around us, they're not really real, like as we say materially. They are just evidence produced through our consciousness. And within this quantum field is where everything exists that you want or what you desire to create. And once you can tap into that field, once you get your awareness now, you break out of this trance and you start to use that mind's eye, and then you start to repeat it, then your subconscious mind starts to adopt it, then it becomes your habit, and then the field responds that way. See that? 2% will only get this. 98% won't. So hopefully I've woken up a lot of individuals now. So now what you have to do now, you have to realize that, oh, I really have to watch my emotions. I have to watch how I feel. I have to deliberately self-correct my mind, because anytime I get into this emotional fear-based or worry-based, I'm actually putting myself in a hypnotic trance. Yes, you are. The mind does it, the subconscious does it. And now you understand. So once you can take charge and now become aware and start your focus and create these habits, you will break the mold and become one of the 2%.